All right, good morning. Saturday, June 5th. I've had slow progress on this because of other activities, but we have both the hose connection and the floor connection hooked up. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, let's show you behind the scenes. Hey, Oma.
What?
Are you happy with your new vacuum?
I am. Hallelujah. I love my vacuum.
This is the third one that I've installed for her. The first one was in a 2017 Cougar, and then in the 19 Reflection, and now I'm installing the same setup pretty much in a 21 Momentum. So here's what I did. That's the steps. These are the steps. They must be pre-formed and dropped in here and nailed to the floor, because I had to, in order to get the floor connection in there, I had to gouge out this bottom board in order for that to fit in here. So the wires to make it turn on are daisy chained from that one over to this one. I don't know if you can see the wires underneath there. It's kind of hard. Let me, hopefully you can see it. No, you probably see my shadow. Let's go over here. Okay, you get the idea. Then they give you a Y connection, and then you go to the back of the vacuum cleaner. And there it is. And you also have a port here. So we actually have 3 ports now. With this mounted in the basement, I'll be able to hook the hose up to it and vacuum the truck out whenever I need to. But now we have to mount it. And it has to go where this panel is. With this black panel here, this short one goes up against this stairway. So I've been thinking this out, and one thing that I had to keep in mind is this thing is going to generate heat. So what I've decided to do is build the wall out 1 inch. And by putting this board up here 1 inch, I've now provided a vent, as you can see where my finger is pointing, where the hot air can go up and come all the way up to the ceiling, because that's not going to be covered up, and have the hot air come out there. Now you're saying, where does the cold air go in? Well, Grand Design punched out a hole for the cable, water, and electrical connection that's on the outside of the RV. So cool air will be sucked in there, and I'm gonna let the hot air come out through here. I can't cut into this. This is the back of the step. So I'd be better off just making a vent by building out the wall. I'm probably gonna build it out just about right there. Build out the wall, let the hot air go up, and with that black board will not be nailed to this. It'll be nailed to this instead. And that should be more than enough support, because I'm gonna put 1 board there, which is above the vacuum, 1 board here below the vacuum, and 1 board on the bottom to support the wall to the wall. In addition to adding support, let me go over here and grab the other piece of wood that I've already pre-cut. I've cut myself a piece of 2x2, and I plan to put the 2x2, sorry about the running around here, but I'm gonna put the 2x2 right here to help support that vacuum. So if you haven't visualized it yet, the vacuum is going basically right about there. This hose still has to be cut to length, the one going to the back of the vacuum. I didn't want to cut it yet till I knew exactly where I was going to mount this. We thought about putting it on the floor, and then we thought all the stuff that's going to bounce up against the face. So having it up at least off the ground, and I could still have access to the vacuum bags. Vacuum bags are located behind this cover here. So anyway, that's the progress. I'll show you what it looks like when I get that part complete. Okay, I'm back. Probably only about 15 minutes or less since I spoke to you, because I had already cut the bottom piece, the middle piece, and the top piece. Then I cut a piece of 2x2, And now, like I said, with this mounted here, any hot air that gets in there should come up through this hole and come out here naturally through a 1-inch gap that I'm gonna leave at the top of the felt board. Okay, here's the vacuum. It's not mounted yet because I have to maneuver it in with the blackboard, but these are held in. Of course, one of my pins dropped. Yep, the pin dropped already. These are held in with these here. When you start tightening them, they'll jump up behind that board, and the screw heads here. Now I can show you inside. Pull the vacuum bag out there. Okay, so these 4 screws here, you tighten them, and when you tighten them, it will pull up behind the back of this board, and it'll be mounted. And then to change the bag, as you can see, you just pull the cover off, pull the bag out, discard it, put the new one in, put the cover back on, and you're done. So I still have to figure out how much of this hose I want to keep, because right now it's really too long for this job. So I'm going to take a few minutes, decide how much I want to keep, cut off the extra, and I don't know, maybe I should just leave it all. Point it straight down so the hoses are pointing behind the heater, behind the motor, which is located here. The vent for the motor is here. Let's see if I point that straight down. Oh, you know what? I think that'll work. That's what I'm gonna do. And that's how I make decisions. It could still be a little shorter, but you know what? I can live with that. Okay, let me go figure out how I'm gonna get that blackboard cut out, fit on that, slide that in, and then tighten those 4 screws. When I get her done, I'll show you what it looks like. Then what I'm going to do is my next project. I'm going to build a wall off the end of this one, going that way. Right now, it looks like I can only go up to where that auto switch is. But if I could get those 2 hoses down off of there, remount them to the next aluminum truss, I could probably take my wall all the way down to that truss there. Build it straight across this way, then straight across over to the Nautilus, and then straight down. It's gonna be a hell of a channel, but you know what? Sometimes you got like chairs and stuff that you need to store, and that would be a perfect wall to store chairs on. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So let me get back to work to finishing this, and we'll talk to you again in a few. All right, back again. So here's what I did. I redesigned it. Good thing I don't have to submit drawings and then have to stick to my drawings. I decided to go with the flush look, okay? Instead of having that ring out on the outside of this board, I made it flush, okay? The velvet I cut open, I'm gonna fold it over and staple it to the back of the board, and then put it back on there. Why? For ease of repairs or anything. All I have to do is take the board off, and then I could take the vacuum cleaner out. I just wanted to show you that I have my vent in the top. Remember I said that I was gonna leave it open. That board is all the way flush. It isn't mounted yet, but it's flush. But I have natural vents, 3 of them here, to let all the heat out. So I'll show you. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the board off because I need to get all the velvet or felt tucked in. But there's the final framework for the vacuum cleaner. It's mounted nice and tight. Like I said, this flange could have went to the outside of this felt board, but I thought it was better that way. And I'll be honest, I don't know if them screws would have been long enough to wrap around this board and this board. So I think that's a better deal. Oh, by the way, I did end up taking about 8 inches off of that vacuum hose, and I pointed it straight down so it wouldn't be blowing in front of the vent of the vacuum. So, okay, one final picture when I finish this off. I want to clean some of that sawdust off and get that felt tacked down, and then see where we are. Okay, so here is the finished product. The wall is installed. Okay, that's my dogs because they thought I was knocking a stranger. The wall is installed. It's firm. It has those vents I told you about on the top. So if it gets warm, here. Probably have to run a long time before I would feel heat coming out of these vents. But there it is, nice and flush with the wall. So now if I put something in here, less chance that it's going to turn on the vacuum cleaner while I'm going down the road. Now what I need to do is go get a board and a 2x2 and see how far I can go down here and before I put the next board in. I'm going to build a wall here. I think for those two hoses right there, I'm just going to move them closer to the water station, and that's where the wall is going to end. So I'll go up to, let's see, 1, 2, the third strut over. That's where the wall will end. I'm going to move this. I'll probably mount it on the back of the wall and then take the wall and bring it out, what, about 18 inches or whatever the width of the Nautilus is, and then run all the way down to the corner of the Nautilus and leave that little channel there, like I said before, for chairs or something like that. I think that'd be a nice chair storage place. I really do. So, okay, well, this project's done. Get the sawdust up. I mean, it's got a little imperfections in there here and there, but I'm not going to point it out to you guys. It's useful. The wife is happy. I'm happy. I think I'm going to clean up my mess and take a little break. I've actually been out working on something else all afternoon. I just got back to this a few minutes ago, so. Okay, take care. Talk to you later. Bye. It's recording right side up, but it's upside down. Not sure what's going on there. Okay. Anyway, here's phase 2. I said I wanted to make the wall go straight. So I've taken the black box, which is the automatic transfer switch. I've removed it from the floor. I built a wall and I mount it on these two cross pieces right here. On the back side is where I mounted that auto switch. So now the wall goes straight up to where the water hoses go in. The water hoses used to come in next to the black pipe. What I've taken it is I've put some U-clamps up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build another wall from the end of that to where it's almost even, or where it is even with the Nautilus, and it's going to be shorter to allow for those two hoses to go over the top. Now, what I could do, now I can't do that. I can't disconnect the hoses. They're all crimp fittings. I thought I could cut 2 holes in the wall. But anyway, I'm just gonna make a shorter wall so then those hoses can go over the top. Okay, that'll be phase 2. For right now, I'm gonna go ahead, For right now, I'm going to go cut the velvet board and go ahead and fill this part in. Needs to be, I gotta get my tape measure. Okay, so here we are doing the finishing touches to the expansion of our basement. I've built the frame here, which is shorter than the ceiling because I got 2 water pipes coming over it. I've cut off 31 inches for the first panel and 5 inches off the second panel. The second panel is the original for the panel that used to run diagonal in this space. So this is what we're gonna have. This did give me just a little bit of a dilemma I'm just going to take a look at this. I think what I'm going to do is I have a piece of 1/4 inch plywood because I don't have any more felt board to cover this up. I think what I'll do is I'll put a 1/4 inch plywood in front of this, screw it on, come back, install it. I have a place to mount it on the back side of this and then to the floor, and then this board will connect the other side, and that will be the conclusion of my basement upgrade. As you can see, I did maintain a little bit of an angle here, not as cut off as it was before, but just enough maybe for those chairs I was talking about. So let me go ahead and turn this off so I can get in here to work. And like I said, I think I'm going to put the plywood on this first, keep this board off, come in from the back side, put 2 screws down to the ground. There we go, that's even better. 2 screws down to the ground. I got a couple tabs back here from some 1-bys supporting the switch box. I'll put at least 2 screws through that, and then the 2 screws to hold this board here. And I think we'll call this project complete. And just so you know why I didn't go closer in, I don't know if you can see up in the upper corner there, there's a pipe coming off, a cold water pipe. And this is going to be probably about 1 inch away from that. So I didn't want to put any pressure against it. So I'm happy. I've gained enough space for at least 3 more totes that I want to add to this basement area. And that's it. I'll give you a final view when I get it finalized. All right, guys and gals, here's what we got. This is still in disarray. All I wanted to do is get it out of my shed and see how it fits. Those are 32-quart storage bins. I'm gonna reorganize everything. I can still put 3 on top of each other, okay? But now I can put at least 9 in there if I wanted to. I don't need to, but I could. This spot right here that I got all this junk piled up on, that's actually where my Blackstone is gonna go. And then these containers here will prevent the Blackstone from sliding up against the door. So, okay, project complete. I'm happy with it. Oma, you wanna take a look?
Yeah, I want to take a look.
I'm not done organizing. I just stuck it in there for now.
Where are you going to put the grill?
Right where that pile of stuff is.
Okay.
That pile of stuff is actually
You got plenty of room now.
yeah. We in the reflection, we had 7 bins.
Yeah.
2 of them I'm not putting in here because one contains a water pump when we're pumping water from a 30-gallon tank into our freshwater tank when we're in quartzsite. The other item is the macerator pump, which we don't need for probably a couple years. Hopefully I may have to test those pumps just to make sure that they still work at some time.
Yeah.
But okay, as far as I'm concerned, this project is complete. I've gained that. Basically, I gained that whole corner right there. Is what I gained, which is what I wanted. So, okay, that's it. Bye.